Welcome to Sunday's Pathshala. As is our routine, we will do our objective setting first. So this is the vision that Heartful Learners Academy holds. We want to, you can read everything on the screen, but I will just give the gist of it, is that we want to bring all goodness campaigners in the world on one platform with the objective that the collective consciousness, the we consciousness, the we as human beings right now are thinking individually, I, and that's okay. It's where we are right now. But this I means too much of selfishness, and the earth resources are limited, and we are seeing that because of these too much of I business, the world's not really as happy as it could be if we were sharing more, caring more. So we've created this platform. My spiritual guide Daji says that good people don't combine; they don't come together. So, and that's the reason there is no unity, and the synergy that we can come by coming together is lost. So this is a small attempt to get all goodness campaigners of the world together. Doesn't matter if you're a part of the Heartfulness mission or not. You can be part of anything, but as long as you have a goodness in your heart, which is bubbling to express itself, we are there. Please come become a part of this platform and benefit from it, and also give it benefit. Let's work together as a goodness team. So that's the central idea. A lot of words there on the screen which mean the same thing. And yes, this is an idea inspired by my spiritual guide, Shri Anish Patel. Please visit his blog, daji.org. It's not a blog, it's a collection of his videos, articles, inspiration, daji.org. If you want to know more about what inspires me and what is my, what do I follow, then yes, I am a trainer of the Heartfulness system. And that is, Heartfulness is my inspiration behind this project. You can visit heartfulness.org and know more about Heartfulness meditation, which is being given free all over the world. So let's see the three main objectives of the Heartful Learners Academy. The first objective is to give free resources, sometimes paid if we cannot get free resources, but as far as possible, free resources to all the members here so that they can become heartful community leaders. Heartful community leader is someone who, because of his goodness, because he's expressing the goodness of his heart, people are being attracted to him, and they're listening to him, and they are making a hub around him. And because people are making a hub around him, he's able to spread that goodness even more. So that is the meaning of a heartful community influencer. Goodness can be just anything. It could be spiritual goodness, environmental goodness, anything that you're bubbling for, and which can inspire the world and which can make this world a better place. So this is what it is. You can read this again. I'm not going to read. The second objective here is, again, here we have put, normally we see that goodness movement is a lot of inspiration. People want to do good, but where is the money? In this world, money, vitamin M, is very important, even for leading heartful causes. So we also want to pay attention to this and create honest avenues for people, for goodness campaigners to earn more money. I have started putting in the group certain messages about importance of money. I'm inviting people to join the Heartful Earners sort of a network. I've still not given it a good name, but we'll figure out a good name for it. But the idea is, let's come together, and if you have the ability to make some great products, great services, and if you're looking for marketing of those products and services, please tell us. Let's combine. You make money, the platform makes money. We will give donation opportunities to people. People in this community can promote those products and services. As long as the product is honest, it doesn't have to be cheap. I'm not. It can, you can sell a 100 rupee product, or you can sell a 1 lakh rupee product. Doesn't matter. But as long as it is value for money for the segment it is meant for, and it is really delivering what it is talking about, we are ready to promote it. And you will also know that I am a businessman by profession. I'm also a business start coach. and I'm good at digital marketing, conventional marketing, and we can push your products forward, take your products forward, assuming they are honest. They should walk the talk that it talks about. There'll always be some difference. We're not getting into real nitpicking, but in general, if you're saying your product is 10, it should be between, at least between 8 and 12. It should not be 1, that 2, 3. That kind of wrong perception marketing we don't want to get into, even if it means money. We want to deal into honest products and services here. So welcome to this idea of being part of Heartful Earning as a manufacturer, as a service provider, as a digital coach, as a marketeer. There's a lot on board. So please keep reading my messages and join the earning group too. And if you know there are others who can benefit, bring them on board too. This is the third objective here, which should actually be very natural to all of us: giving. What can we give? We can give our time, we can give our money, we can give our knowledge. And the more we give, the more we get. That is what they say. So let us put this law into action and experiment and find out whether this is true or not. Let us start giving, and let us see what is the impact it has in our life. Let us not be shy of giving. Let us not be shy of earning. Let us not be lazy in learning. Let us learn a lot, earn a lot, and give a lot. This is the message of Heartful Learners Academy, and I'm here to facilitate these ideas. So, as I said, we are in a new format of Sunday Pathshala, and let's revise some of the key concepts that we have done so far. So I'm revising so that people who have not seen these summary videos or have not read what was said earlier, they at least get an idea what this is all about, and they feel motivated to go back and do it. So the first thing is this book, As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh is a book by James Allen, and it is an old book written in the year 1906. Provides the foundational ideas of all self-help programs. I was reading the reviews. All the today modern self-help programs, all the gurus who want to help you in this world, the digital gurus, they draw a lot out of this simple book. This book is a very simple book. Okay, not many pages also, but it has got so much depth. Every line, every paragraph, this author has put his self into that book. And it is a book recommended by my spiritual guide Daji. It's there officially as a part of our stores of the mission. Go and buy it. You can go to shpt.in and buy this book, which I'll prefer because some of this money can be used for a good cause. But you buy it from anywhere and read that book. All this little bit of knowledge I'm giving you so that you feel excited to read the book. I'll be very happy if you read the book, if you don't understand, and if you send messages, I did not understand that, can you do this, can you do that? I'm not having time now, but someday I will create a book review on this and I will put it. But other book reviews are available on the YouTube. Go ahead and have a look. They are also good. But one day I will also do a book review and put it here for everyone to enjoy. A little more about this book. As a Man Thinketh, one of the beautiful lines is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The book says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The second is, repeated intense thinking forms character. Okay. Repeated intense thinking forms character. Third is, character finds or attracts the matching external circumstances to manifest itself. Character finds or attracts the matching external circumstances to manifest itself. And the fourth is, men do not attract what they want, but what they are. So please excuse the gender bias here. Men and women mean the same thing. So I'm going to take a little pause here, and I'm going to open for a short group discussion. All of you who are quietly listening, unmute yourself. If you want, you can unmute your camera also. And come on, let us do give me some ideas about what do you think. Let's take the first. Either you can talk about all the statements together, or you can pick up one statement and give your views. Doesn't matter. Okay. So go ahead. Who would like to go first? This is a new format, so I'm going to catch you napping. You cannot just listen. You got to. Yes. Do I hear someone talking?
Yeah. May I?
Yeah, go ahead. If you're not talking,
Jeevita here.
Jeevita. 1 minute, Jeevita. The house rules are if you're not talking, mute. If you're talking, unmute and talk. Simple. Okay, go ahead, Jeevita. Yes,
Yeah,
Jeevita.
I have not read this book, but when I'm seeing the summary line, I feel that what it takes about each point, like what gives the conducive feelings of the heart, what sort of thoughts we should entertain, like how do we observe, and how do we what stops us to be in actions or what will encourage us to be in actions. So how do we monitor our habits or restructure our habits so that we can reach our destiny? So I think we have to have some action points or like the conducive things to to be present to each step of this is what I felt.
Okay. So if you can join again, and this is a good contribution. Keep adding if you want to talk again. Yes, someone else, please unmute and talk. If you're finished talking, try to speak for about a minute or so that everyone gets a chance, or many people get a chance rather. Yes. Rishabh ji, I would encourage you to talk if you're there.
Hi to everyone. I have got some idea about the statement which is given here. It has been taught in our school also. As the man think, he becomes so. It is in Sanskrit also, if I can recall. But this statement has always inspired me a lot, and I keep on thinking that our think should be correct and in right direction, so that our personality, our way ahead would be in the right direction. That is what I can make it out of this.
Okay. So, all right. Thank you. Someone else who would like to go? We can take one more comment. Come on. Another comment. Go ahead.
Yes, Vishal, men do not attract what they want. Means wishes कुछ भी हो सकती है ना? But they won't get it. अगर उनमें जो capability है, what they are, only that thing they will get, ना?
Thank you, लीना जी. थोड़ा सा और बताइए. What is the difference between wanting and being? इसके बारे में बताइए थोड़ा सा. आपको क्या लगता है?
Want तो मतलब विश ही है कि हम कुछ भी चाह सकते हैं ना, कोई भी अच्छी गाड़ी या कुछ भी, लेकिन वो हमें मिल नहीं सकती. Wanting means
we will wait for one person to finish talking, then we will come in. लीना जी करें अपनी बात.
इससे ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकते.
Okay. Thank you. Somebody was saying yes. Who wanted to come in?
There was a short pause in the middle, so I couldn't hear what the lady was saying. Could you please repeat, Vishalji, once more?
She was saying that she agreed with the statement that desires do not attract things. It is your state of being that attracts things. This is a profound statement, Himani, and most people miss this point. I missed it for a long time in my life. You believe me. And how I wish that others don't take so much time to understand this, that what I have understood, and I'm still kind of absorbing the impact of this statement. So let me speak a minute myself on this very important aspect. ये इतना गहरा सब्जेक्ट है कि इसके ऊपर ही 2-3 घंटे बात किया जा सकता है, लेकिन because we have to play a structured role here. See, this book is called As a Man Thinketh. पुराने टाइम में थिंकिंग और फीलिंग के बीच में बहुत ज्यादा फर्क नहीं हुआ करता था. I mean, as a man, हमारे समय आते आते 2016 में थिंकिंग एंड फीलिंग has become two different genres. पुराने टाइम में a person used to feel very strongly, and feeling and thinking were very similar. This book is actually As a Man Feeleth, not As a Man Thinketh. जो फीलिंग्स होती है हमारे अंदर, जो हमारे दिल के अंदर जो फीलिंग्स होती है, the feeling of courage, the feeling of being positive, the feeling of the abundance, the feeling of not being scared, having complete faith. When you have that sort of a feeling, then the kind of thoughts that you generate are resonating with that feeling. उस thought में उस समय जब आपकी दिल में ये feelings होंगी, तो आप अपने बारे में छोटा नहीं सोचेंगे, आप किसी के बारे में छोटा नहीं सोचेंगे, आप unnecessarily competitive नहीं होंगे. You will believe in the abundance of the universe, and you will think positively. You will be relaxed. You know, you will be focused. And when you straighten your mind up, when you straighten your thinking, first you straighten your feelings, then you straighten your then you straighten your thinking, and after that you start acting, and after that you keep reinforcing that act into a habit. And once you make something which is a habit, once things enter your automatic system of working, you know, once it becomes subconscious to you, then that becomes character. And then that becomes, once you have a strong character, that becomes destiny. See, how it becomes destiny is because it is your inner character that attracts the external circumstances into your life, you know. So that what it's like, the external circumstances are like the North Pole, and your character is like the South Pole. Okay, so the South Pole will attract the North Pole. It is like that. So if you, don't think in terms of opposite. If you are a positive person, you will attract those positivity. अगर आप देखेंगे आपके इर्द गिर्द लोग कैसे हैं, आपके आजू बाजू वही लोग हैं जो आपके जैसा सोचते हैं. कैसा हो गया ये? आप अगर एक तरीके से सोचते हैं तो आप आजू बाजू वही लोगों को आजू बाजू में पाते हैं, है ना? तो ये इसके लिए हुआ क्योंकि आपने ऐसा अट्रैक्ट कर लिया अपने आजू बाजू. तो ये बड़ा गहरा स्टेटमेंट है, एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू फर्स्ट see the book summaries if you have missed it. It is in the group, and then please buy the book and read it. One little messaging here is, because I'm a heartfulness meditation trainer, I have to say this, that in heartfulness meditation, we are able to uplift the feelings of the heart. We can put positive feelings within the heart, and you get a good start base. If you see this, it starts with the feelings of the heart, and heartfulness meditation is a meditation technique on the heart, and it rejuvenates the feelings of the heart, which can create the right thoughts, which can create the right act, habit, character, destiny. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. Thank you. This is nice. You know, all of you are participating. Another thing from this book is, again, very powerful statements. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Dream lofty dreams, and as you think, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall be one day. हर एक स्टेटमेंट को थोड़ा सा पॉज करके आप लोग पढ़िए, देखिए क्या बोल रहा है ये बंदा. Your vision is the promise of what you shall be one day. Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. हमारा जो ड्रीम है, हमारा जो विजन है, वो हमारा फ्यूचर, वी आर द फ्यूचर, वो हमारा फ्यूचर अस है. मेरा सपोज का विजन है, तो वो विजन ही विशाल है. अगर लीना जी का कोई ड्रीम है, कोई विजन है, तो वो विजन ही लीना जी है. इट्स द न्यू वर्जन ऑफ लीना जी. शी हैज टू अचीव दैट. अगर आप अपने आप से वो विजन और ड्रीम छुपा लेंगे तो आप अचीव क्या करेंगे? व्हाट इज द न्यू वर्जन? आपको अपने आप को बार बार रीइन्वेंट करना है. तो आपको क्या बनना है? आपका ड्रीम और आपका विजन ही आप हो. फ्यूचर, अगर आप पूछोगे फ्यूचर में मैं क्या हूं, फ्यूचर में तो आप वो विजन हो, वो ड्रीम हो जो आप देख रहे हैं. ठीक है. तीसरा स्टेटमेंट देखिए इस किताब का कितना पावरफुल है. You will become as small as your controlling desire and as great as your dominant aspiration. आप लोग वापस इसको पढ़िए. You will become as small as your controlling desire and as great as your dominant aspiration. ये तीसरे स्टेटमेंट के बारे में किसी को कुछ कहना है? Let me take a pause. तीसरा स्टेटमेंट बहुत पावरफुल है. आप बताइए, आप में से कोई इसके बारे में कुछ कहना चाहता है? You can unmute and talk. Read the third statement. You will become as small as your controlling desire and as great as your dominant aspiration. Controlling desire का मतलब होता है जो चीज आपको बांध के रखती है, जो आपको चाहिए ही चाहिए at all cost. और dominant aspiration है जो चीज अभी एविडेंट नहीं है, जो सुषुप्त है, लेकिन अंदर से बहुत प्रभावी, अंदर से मतलब बोलते हैं ना जल बिन मछली वाला जो प्रभाव है, वो अंदर से आपको तड़प है वो करने की, लेकिन वो अभी दिखता नहीं है, वो लोगों को नहीं दिख रहा है, लेकिन वो अंदर है आपके. सो दिस इज चलो मैंने आधा जवाब दे दिया, अब आधा कौन पूरा करेगा इसको, बाकी का व्याख्यान. Who would like to contribute? Yes.
These statements are actually give a lot of scope to rethink about ourselves and create a new man for coming year. This is revealing. I mean, you will reveal yourself if you really go through with these statements and rediscover yourself.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Jeevita, what do you think? Let's hear from Jeevita. Jeevita. Is Jeevita there? Maybe she had a line.
Yeah, could I see Vishal
Yes,
here?
Jeevita ji, we are waiting to hear you. Yes, go ahead.
This is Himani here.
Himani ji, go ahead.
So the statement says you will become as small as your controlling desire. So when we have a desire and we try to control it, we almost like shrink in a size. If we are like, desire is hai, usko karna hai, तो वो shrinkage आ जाता है. But when you leave it, it becomes like dominant aspiration वाला जो sentence है, उसमें whatever our desire, जो aspiration है, जो चीज हम पाना चाहते हैं, और वो dominant है हमारी feeling में, so then it's like that's the sentence, you will become as small as your controlling desire, as great as your dominant aspiration. So किसी भी desire को अगर हम control करेंगे तो हम सिकुड़ से जाते हैं. अगर हम उसको छोड़ देते हैं, खुला छोड़ देते हैं, let the best happen, may the best happen, तो वो expand करता है. I think that is the meaning.
Okay, thank you for your perspective, Himani ji. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeevita.
So I'm back. Yeah. So for me, it occurs like, when I see about the controlling desire. So for some things we most persist, we are resisting. So the more it persists. So we give a lot of our time, energy, thoughts into the ones that we don't want. So that's why it limit ourselves and makes us small is what I feel.
Thank you. So let's move ahead. See, these things are so beautiful that it's very difficult to say कि आपने सही बोला, आपने गलत बोला. It starts the thinking process and the expansion process, and that's what it is. I'll encourage you all to again read the book and find more. Okay. So let's go ahead. Okay. So now, why should you write a vision statement? So हमने vision देखा कि James Allen इसके बारे में क्या कहते हैं. Now let us see why should you write a vision statement. First thing is that when you write your vision statement, it is your first step towards commitment. आप कितने अभी इस पाठशाला में आप बहुत मोटिवेट हो जाएंगे और आधी घंटे के बाद आप सारी चीजें भूल जाएंगे. लेकिन जब आपका मोटिवेशन हाई है, उसी समय आप अपना विजन स्टेटमेंट लिखिए. 25-30 शब्द आपको क्या करना है, 50 शब्द, डजंट मैटर, और इसको शुरू करिए इस प्रोसेस को, और फिर धीरे धीरे इस विजन स्टेटमेंट को रिफाइन करिए. मैंने एक बहुत अच्छा वीडियो बनाया है, ग्रुप में मैंने पोस्ट किया है, हाउ टू राइट योर विजन स्टेटमेंट. तो उसको आप देखिए, और उससे अगर कुछ आपको और मदद चाहिए तो मेरे को आप इंटरैक्शन ग्रुप में पूछ सकते हैं. आई विल हेल्प यू विद दैट. पूरा वीडियो सिर्फ विजन स्टेटमेंट के ऊपर है. विजन क्या है, क्या टाइप का विजन होता है, कैसे लिखना चाहिए, इंटीग्रेटेड विजन क्या है, व्हाट इज द इंटीग्रेटेड विजन, विजन लिखने के तरीके क्या है, सो गो अहेड एंड वॉच दैट वीडियो एंड प्लीज राइट योर विजन. आपका जो विजन है, इट इज लाइक अभी एक विचार है, एक इंस्पिरेशन है, एक आइडिया है. जब तक आप उसको एक शेप नहीं देंगे, अनलेस यू ब्रिंग इट इनटू अ बॉक्स, अनलेस यू ब्रिंग इट इनटू अ शेप, it's like a drawing. It is only in your mind. ऐसा है, picture है, painting है, you're just thinking about it. But unless you put it on the canvas and give it some shape, that is the time when you will start refining it. Otherwise, it will always be in your mind. It will be something vague. See, I'll tell you something. It begins with the mind, but it should never end with the mind. Many of us have made these mistakes. many, and deep thinkers who are definitely make this mistake. They do overthinking. सोच के लगता है सोचने में ही कर्म है. सोचना शुरुआत में बड़ा अच्छा है, सोचना चाहिए और बीच बीच में इसको इवैल्यूएट करना चाहिए. दैट्स वेरी नाइस. लेकिन सोचना ही कर्म नहीं है. सोच के आगे कर्म है. When you start acting, when you start doing, that is when the magic begins. Otherwise, you will fool yourself into thinking that I am a visionary by only thinking about it. Think, talk, do, measure, again think, talk, do, measure. जो चीज सही हो रही है इसको ठीक करो, जो गलत हो रही है इसको, जो सही हो रही है इसको बढ़ाते जाओ, जो गलत हो रही है इसको, things which are not right, please correct them. You have to measure, you have to evaluate, and again keep doing this. But if you keep thinking, it's like a business. Some of you here are in a part of my paid program, Business Start Coaching. We will discuss this concept there also. You keep thinking, analyzing. It doesn't work. You have to begin with analyzing, no doubt, before you jump. But then you have to try. You have to put things there and see actually what is working and what is not working. So vision is also like that. You have to start. You have to write it down. And when you write it down, you will, whatever you thought in the mind is as possible, that will start getting refined. And the funny thing is, once you write it, you put it on front of your desk, where you see it every day as a reminder bell. Every day, touch that paper. Touch that paper. It's a secret. When you write it down and when you read it every day and reinforce it, cheeze hoti hai. I have experimented with this, brothers and sisters. Please try it out. When my experiment is over, I will share it with all of you. But I can see so much movement. Write down your specific goal, your vision. ये तो vision है. अगली बार हम थोड़ा सा goal वगैरह के बारे में भी बात करेंगे. Write it down and read it every day. And remind yourself. Make it a part of your subconscious mind. And then you see the magic. कैसे होता है. ठीक है. This is a hint. Please try it out. Start by writing your vision. So let's move ahead. Okay. So Purane matter mein, this is the last part, which is the personal SWOT. ये मैंने cover किया था in the topic calibrate your passion. I had put it in the end over there, and this is a very important topic. I thought I will again talk about this and revisit it. So once you do your vision, mission, goal setting, milestone, along with that, this particular thing is very important. This can be done in a business framework also, but right now we are talking about this in your particular, it is always done in a particular context. Okay. So in this context is me as a person, Vishal as a person. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses? What are his opportunities? And what are the threats? Okay. So strengths and weaknesses means internal things. What are my internal issues? What are my internal weaknesses? Opportunities are external. What are the opportunities of growth that I can see which are outside, external? And what are the opportunities of, what are the threats that I see which are outside, which can, stop me from growing, stop me from evolving? Okay. Again, what is growth? It can be money growth. It can be health growth. It can be spiritual growth. It can be relationship growth. वो आपको डिफाइन करना है, लेकिन यहाँ पे कॉन्टेक्स्ट आप क्लियर कर लीजिए कि मेरा कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, मैं ये स्ट्रेंथ एंड वीकनेसेस कर रही हूँ, मैं क्या कर रही हूँ. दैट इज व्हाई अगेन द विजन, द मिशन, द गोल एंड माइलस्टोन इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज अनलेस यू डोंट नो इन व्हाट कॉन्टेक्स्ट यू वांट टू डू दिस, तो आप किसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में करोगे. अगर आपको डू यू वांट टू गो टू कैलकाटा, डू यू वांट टू गो टू एम्स्टरडैम, डू यू वांट टू गो टू यूएसए, आफ्टर यू नो वेयर यू वांट टू गो, you will do the other things, whether I have the money, whether I know the route, whether I can adjust to the climate. So all these are strengths and weaknesses, but in context to what? So SWOT can be done only once your context is clear. You must get your goal and your mission statement, vision statement. Otherwise, how will you do this? I am giving you something very straight. You will pay a lot of money to get this advice from other people in this world, and Sunday Pathshala gives you all this free. So this is sometimes the disadvantage. लोगों को लगता है कि क्या है? Is it correct? This is 100% correct. I am living in this world practically last 24 years. I mean, I'm assuming till college. So I'm 40. I have been living practical life and spiritual life for 24 years. And I have done considerable amount of reading and research and spent time with some of the best spiritual heights in this world. I have been blessed to do that. And what is being told here is 100% valid. Try it out and see the impact it has in your life. Try it out and come back after a couple of months and say, yes, Vishal, this made a hell lot of a difference to how I was approaching things. So what is this 80-20 rule? Now, 80-20 rule means if you want to make a list of all your strengths, how do you select which strengths I should be posting here? Here comes the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule says that the 80-20 rule says that we should not worry about those things that do not have a significant impact. What this really means is that we should make a list of everything that we have here and look at those things, those 20% things which give 80% trouble or have 80% impact. The 80-20 rule is a Pareto's principle in management, which says that in any situation, in any equation, 20% of the variables cause 80% of the impact. आप किसी कंपनी में भी देखेंगे तो 20% एम्प्लॉई ही उस कंपनी का फ्यूचर है. वो कैसे बिहेव करते हैं उस कंपनी पे डिपेंड करता है, वो कंपनी का फ्यूचर उस पर डिपेंड करता है. अगर आप अपने सेल्स देखेंगे, आपके सेल्स में 20% ऐसे लोग होंगे जो आपको 80% बिजनेस देते हैं. आपके वेंडर साइड देखिएगा, आपको 20% वेंडर्स ऐसे होंगे जो आपको 80% सप्लाई देते हैं, मतलब इंपैक्टफुल सप्लाई देते हैं. तो ये मोर और लेस वैलिड है. In your portfolio of shares, 20% of your shares will give 80% of the impact. So this is a universal rule. It is acceptable. It is accepted worldwide, 80-20, and you will apply the same rule to our case. That if you have say 10 or 12 strengths, so which is 4-5 strength कौन से हैं that gives you impact, maximum impact. In your weaknesses, if you have say 6-7 weaknesses, which are the 20%? So 20% मतलब 2-3 weaknesses which are causing up trouble and you have to overcome them. Same thing for opportunities and same things for threat. So please do this. Remember this personal SWOT and recommend it to other people. You learn here and you give the same knowledge to others. That is what giving is all about. Heartful giving is all about. Okay. So now let's, any questions? Okay, let me take a pause here. मैंने काफी बकबक कर लिया, अभी आप लोग बताइए. Please ask a question or contribute to this idea. Go ahead.
A question?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you give some example with regards to opportunities and threats so that we can get some idea on how we can list them down?
Okay. So suppose if your context here is to become a very good singer in this world, okay? You want to become this is the context of the model. So you've done your strengths and weaknesses. Now you look at opportunities. The opportunities could be as follows, that my friend Himani's father is a musician and he's a well-known musician. That is an opportunity. So you will write there relationship with sister Himani and her father, is an opportunity. Then you can write another opportunity can be that my friend, let's take another context, something like I am living in Chennai, and Chennai has the best musician, A.R. Rahman. He has an institute there, and actually I can go there physically and learn. So that's an opportunity. Okay. Now, what can be a threat? Threat can be I have no family support. It's an external thing. Nobody in my family is a musician. It is an external situation. Or my papa and mother are going to force me to marry before the age of 25, 26. That is a threat. That's an external situation. Or I do not have the resources which is necessary to manage. I do not have. Not having resources actually is an internal weakness. We drop that last point. Threat can be something like. You could be staying in a place where there is where the digital bandwidth is very low. Internet connection is so it's actually an external. It's a threat. If you have a house where you don't have digital connection in today's world, it's a big problem. So that comes in that threat. Is it okay, Himani? Clear to some extent?
Yeah. And another threat could be that I have many competitors here in my city. So how do I grow?
Yes.
Could that be a threat? Could that be a threat as well?
That it should be specific. See, that is what I said. The 80-20 rule will give you, this has to be specific. Competition is a general threat. You can always write that, but you will not be able to bring it into those 20% factors that have 80% impact. Competition तो सब जगह है ना हिमानी, जनरल बात है, उसको लिस्ट करके क्या फायदा? ठीक है? Anyone else? Here you should list those things which have an impact. Okay, so let's move ahead.
Difficult to do what, Vishal sir?
Is somebody there saying something? Please go ahead. We have 5 minutes of discussion time on the agenda. Please go ahead. किसी को कुछ कहना है? Anything? अभी तक जितना भी मैंने present किया उसके बारे में कुछ भी पूछना है, contribute करना है, please go ahead. We have 5 minutes of discussion time left.
I said it's difficult to do SWOT analysis. It's little because it involves a lot of thinking pattern, and also once you've done the thinking, you don't really know whether whatever I've written down is correct or not. It's like a lot of mind racking.
Yes, you take help with somebody, Himani. It's not so tough. And believe me, when you start digging a well, you feel like rubbish is coming out. But as you go deeper, the water is found. Okay. I'll be happy to help, Himani. No problem. You start the process. Start the process. Okay. Yes. There's somebody called Asha in this group, and she's keeping quiet. Let's hear Asha. Asha, can I encourage you to talk?
Yes, Vishal bhai, I'm sorry.
Asha,
I was thinking about this actually. You're not able to hear me?
I can hear you, Asha. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about this 80-20 rule, in fact, I have done my SWOT a long time ago. But this 80-20 rule, you were talking about management parallels. They say that 80% of the revenue comes from 20% of our customers.
Yeah.
Now, how I'm going to apply this to me? See, I was looking, there are two questions, in fact, for me. One is you said about vision. Now, I don't want to write my vision because it seems too far off for me. I want to break down that vision and put it as something closer to my heart. Okay, I have put it as self-development, and one area I have put it. Now, how do I apply this 80-20 rule to that goal of mine? Not vision exactly, but a goal. Maybe a goal which I can reach, short-term goal, 3 months, because I'm looking at 3 months. Vision would become too long for me to, vision it in my mind. So how can I apply 80-20 rule to my goal?
So has anyone watched both the videos, vision and mission goals? Anybody in this group who has watched both? Does anybody from the group want to contribute to this? If you have watched the video, you'll be able to contribute to this discussion. I'm checking how many are watching.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I have not watched.
As far as I remember, Vishal sir, if we have a vision in mind clear, only then will it be easy for us to have the goals and the milestones falling in place. Because unless the vision is clear, we will not be able to set a milestone towards goal or objective. That's how I feel. We need to be clear about the vision on paper.
Thank you, Himani. You answered a good part of that question. So Asha, thank you so much for your question, and thank you for interacting here. This is what happens, Asha, that from the vision flows the mission statement. From the mission statement flows the goals, and from the goals flow the milestones. So when you talk about 3 months goals, you're basically talking about milestones. There are 2 videos that I have posted here. In the vision part, I have talked again of 3 levels of vision: level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 is that 15-20 year ahead vision. Level 1 is the next 3 to 5 year vision. And the level 2 vision is a bridge between the level 1 vision and the level 3 vision. Okay. So that is also, as the level 1 vision is more more conceivable by your brain, you know. And the level 3 should scare you. Yeah, it's scaring, but it should scare you. And level 1 should not be that scary. It should stretch you, but your brain should believe कि इतना तो मैं कर सकती हूँ. I can do this. I can do this. And from that, you come up with your mission statement, which will bring about the how part, and then the goal part, and then the milestone. Goals have an 18-month Peter Drucker theory. 18 months, a man can change himself significantly. Those are the goals. And milestones are very watertight objectives, which will take you step by step towards the goal. So I recommend you watch that video, that will answer. I have tried to summarize the thing. And let us see how 80-20 works. 80-20. See, one law of this universe, my dear brothers and sisters and members and participants who are here, is what is true for the macro is also true for the micro. If it is a law of universe that is correct, it will work in large numbers also, and it will work in small numbers also. It will work between 2 people also, and it will work between 200,000 people also. The law does not change. If you drop a pencil, it will fall down to the ground. If you drop a crane, it will also fall down to the ground. Gravity rule cannot change. So 80-20, assuming it is correct, and the large number of people, there is enough observation that 80-20 is correct. Then what happens here, Aisha, is that suppose if you have 10 strengths, you have listed down, कि मेरा ये objective है. Let us talk about 3 months. Okay, 3 months you want to do something, and to do that something, you have these 6 strengths, these 3 weaknesses. Then out of that, how to select which is the most relevant one. Then you analyze. So 2, 3, so you can list it down. But suppose if there are 15, what will you do? If there's a case where there's a 15, I have 15 strengths, what should I do? I have 10 weaknesses, what should I do? So 10 ke 10 to nahi likh sakte na, it will lose its impact. So what you will do, you will select 20% of that. Out of 10, 2 of them which are going to cause you maximum trouble in terms of weaknesses, or in terms of strength, out of the 10, which are the 2 which is really going to take you forward. That is how you think. And always try to put more strengths and little less of weaknesses, more of opportunities, little less of threats, to maintain a positive balance in this exercise. Hope I have been helpful, Asha.
Yeah, I got it now. Let me try this.
Yes, thank you, Asha. And please post it in the interaction group. Any problem, any difficulty, would love to help further. Okay?
Right. Sure.
In case some of you have not joined the interaction group, please do that. Okay? That's where we can really see. Why I have to create a separate group is if 250 people start saying good morning and good night and namaste, then everything is lost in the group. So we have to maintain one group which focused on learning, and others a group we can be a little casual. Okay, great guys. So if I have your permission, should we go to the new content today? Ready for it? Press 1 if you're ready for the new content for the day, for the evening. Press 1. Let's see. Okay. The ones are coming. Wonderful. Vivek says 1. Hey, Vivek, didn't know you. I didn't see you there. Yeah, great, you're there. Okay, great. So, guys, communication is my favorite subject. One of my favorite subjects. I have taken formal communication training when I was in college, and duck to water. The first competition in my college after taking the formal training, I came first. Okay, I mean, I surprised myself. I went to inter-college level and things like that just from the first competition. And communication comes, and some of you in lighter vein, Asha and people who know me from my past, ye banda bahut bolta hai. He talks a lot.
No, you're an effective speaker.
Yes, Asha. I remember our old days. Yeah. So welcome, and we'll build this topic one by one. Today, in 15 minutes, we have correct. Yeah. So we have about 12 minutes left, which keeps us within the time frame. So I'm going to approach this topic in a very different way, so that we get a roundabout understanding. And today it's not going to be complete. I'll see if I have the time. I will do it during the week, or we will continue next Sunday on these concepts. Okay. So let us see what are the elements in communication methods. See, what I'm taking the kitchen strategy here. When we say what are the elements in the kitchen, kitchen में क्या होता है? सब्जी होती है, पानी होता है, vessel होता है, gas hota hai, oven hota hai. You got so many things, you got so many elements. So you consider these are the elements. We will call this a kitchen methodology of understanding communication. Because communication is a wide topic, and I'm not really talking about standing on the public stage and giving, that is also communication, but I want to take a wide spectrum of things, into this. So what are the elements? Let us look at what are the kitchen elements that we have in communication. So we have speaking. Main aapse baat kar raha hu, you're listening. That is speaking. That's easy to understand. Tone of voice. Hello, Vivek. Hey, Vivek. Well, both the tones are completely different. Vivek, can you hear me? Hey, Vivek, can you hear me, dude? See, they're two different Vishals completely. Just by changing my tone, I'm able to convey a different personality. I'm able to throw a different personality. Okay. Body language and gestures. Okay. So the way, if you see the president of US or you see politicians, they're trained. They will talk like this. 1, 2, third point, and they'll do the finger pointing. They're trained to do this. They are people who are groomed to teach you body gestures and body language, and how you can use that to convey, to reinforce what you're trying to say. You try it out for yourself. One says you keep your body shrunk and try to speak, and another is just kind of relax, open out, and you can see the impact, right? When I talk like this, and kya baat hai, kya ho raha hai? Kya baat hai bhai, kya ho raha hai? It's when you open up your body and you stand with poise and confidence and you talk, the whole message changes. So that's the meaning of body language. What is eye contact? Eye contact is so crucial. See, now we're in the camera world, so this is just a tip. When you're talking on camera, when you're doing something, or recording, or you're doing live webinar like this, always look on the top side of your screen. Upar ka jo 1 inch hota hai na, keep looking at that more. That creates a good eye contact for people who are watching you. And if you really want to feel that somebody is talking to you one-to-one, look right into the center of the lens. Am I giving you that feeling right now? All of you all are feeling that I am talking to you one-to-one. If you're getting that feeling, just type 2 in the chat box. Yes, that. See, I'm looking right in the center of the lens, and you will feel that I'm talking to each one of you. Just put 2, to confirm my observation. So if you want to do that, so eye contact is something so important. And when you are in a public stage, you're talking to somebody, when it says that when you're talking to someone who is kind of junior to you, you should be looking, see, there is this V spectrum. There is this V that this is the area of control. It's an area of control. So when you're talking to someone whom you want to control, you should be looking here. You try to control him from here. It gives that idea of control. If you're looking at someone who's equal to you, then you look into his eyes somewhere here, and talk to him. If you're looking, if you want to submit to somebody, then don't browse, don't look at him, don't talk to him looking here. Try, look at these areas. He will get your submission. He could be anybody, someone very senior. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be submissive. So don't look above his, look below, or into his eyes, based how you feel. So eye contact is very important. When you are talking on public stage, you can capture the audience through eye contact. Okay. So today I'm just introducing these elements. We will, as the time progresses, we'll go deeper into these things. Handwriting conveys, handwriting is another element in communication. Do you think handwriting is just handwriting? Handwriting conveys a big part of your personality. If there is, if I have invited certain handwriting analysts to talk in this group, if they accept my invitation and they agree to do it free, we will do a session on handwriting analysis. Okay, some part they will teach us that when you sign, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of signature? When you write, what is the meaning of these strokes? They will teach us. Choice of words. This is so important. This is such an important element in communication. Who is the person? Does he know you? Can you get casual with him? Do you need to use formal words? Does your dog and his dog mean the same thing? You may say saying dog and you mean something, and he hears dog and he gets wild. For you, dog means loyalty. For him, dog means pain. So what do you do about it? So you have to be very careful, because the onus on communicating properly is yours. You have to understand what this word is going to mean to the other guy. whether your dog and his dog is same, then you can use the word dog. Otherwise, you can't use it. Then how do you sequence the words and statements? Again, in written and oral, if you want something out of somebody, you cannot start with negative things first. You have to talk positive. I am working with people who are very refined. If they want to criticize me also, first they'll write 2 good things about me. Vishal, you're very good. You're doing this, doing that. We are so happy to see you. However, would you consider doing this? No, that is something so much acceptable. You come straight, Some people, it's one of the places where I disagreed with one of my fellow coaches. He said, you should take negative feedback. I said, boss, not everyone is ready to take negative feedback first up. You have to warm him up, give him the positive ones, structure, and then gently give the negative, gently create the negative ones. That is how it works. Otherwise, your feedback will go into the dustbin and it's going to become your enemy. So don't do that. Art form is a communication. See, my elements are scattered. I'm just talking about them in any flow. Don't try to, just try to expect. I'm talking about knife, aloo, bengan, fridge, oven. I'm just introducing the elements. We will see later how it all patches up. Okay? Art form is also a communication. Okay? When you create a Facebook post, picture and all that, that's communication. One picture can convey so much. One of my mentors used to say, one picture can be 1,000 words. One picture. One great painting, so much it can convey. That is communication too. Then we need to understand that this modern technology, you see that I'm using PowerPoint here. So when should you use a PowerPoint? When should you not use it? Sometimes PowerPoint can be messy. It can limit your flow. But sometimes it's important. So when should you use it? When should you not use it? Then role of practice. Now this is, a lot of people who are into communication will tell you that that you should practice a lot your communication and make it absolutely perfect. Practice it 10 times, 15 times. If you don't practice, then you're going to fail, they'll tell you. True. Okay. But that's only initially. Okay. Initially, when you have not done enough, presentations, when you have not done enough stage talking, when you're not comfortable looking into people's eyes, when you're not comfortable making some mistakes, and you don't care. You've done so many times, you make a mistake, you joke about it, and you go ahead. A casual style of presentation, assuming that it's not a technical subject, it's so much more well received by the audience. The same thing that I'm doing here, I know all of you are enjoying. Suppose if I stand erect, I say speaking, tone, eye contact. It'll come very artificial. Here you know that ye banda, he's got no notes, ye sirf dekh ke bol raha hai, which is true. I'm just looking at it and I'm talking. But when you do this, you should have command on the subject. There are certain topics on which I don't need anything. I can just go on, because I have command on that topic. So when you have command on it, don't worry too much about practice. Keep a natural thing going. Have a broad parameter of the talk with you. Broad parameters, main points, and start talking. Don't over practice each and every line. I have seen some of these talks by Oscar, Oscar talks and all that. उनको पहले मालूम वो जीत गए. ऐसा prepare करके आएंगे. Once you know that, once you've done enough public speaking, you know that this is artificial. Even that pause, and that emotion, drama, it's all practiced. It's all practiced to the hilt. That creating that, you'll feel, that then they will take the pause. So this is a controversial topic. Somebody who sees this video, audiences who are going to see this video later, I'm sorry if I am going away from the agreed normal, but I believe in natural way of communication. As long as you have command on the topic. If it's technical, then you have to be structured, you have to be looking at, or if you don't have command on the topic, then you cannot go here and there, you'll make mistakes. But if you have the grip, go with a natural way, don't over practice. Then state of mind, it's another element in this, okay? It's such a key element, if you're in a calm state of mind, and you are connected in a real time with your audience. Here this comes a little bit of philosophy and spirituality comes in here. I'm talking with my experience, if you have not over practiced, you have the confidence. And if you have deep concern and true concern for the people who you're talking to, there's some sensitivity that develops in you, what I have to talk. And that flow starts, and each person who's in that audience will feel that, whatever I wanted, this person has said. Something of importance has come into that. And that is what is the state of mind. Calm, collective. You're in a creative zone. You're not, that you're not Rishabh, you're not Vivek, you're not Himani, you're not Asha, you're not, you're not Vishal. You are somebody who loves the audience, who cares for the audience, who's bringing something very genuine on board. Even if you're talking on architecture, you are burning from inside to give that spirit of architecture to those people. Okay, so when that deep concern is there, and you remain equipoised, when you remain connected to the creative zone, then you tap into the real needs of the audience, and that's the time when people will, really applaud. This banda, how did this guy know I wanted to know all this? He has delivered what I wanted to know. Okay? So that's the magic of being in creative flow and state of mind. And these things requires a practice, bit of practice. I agree. Maybe not all of us can start with this initially. Even I didn't get it. I also practiced. But remember, it starts with practice, a lot of practice, but doesn't end there. You have to go beyond. Okay. So I have one more slide, and it may take another 5 minutes. Is it okay? I think it's okay. No? Let's not kind of be so formal. We know each other now. 5 minutes idhar udhar kya farak padta hai. Okay, so in the earlier slide, if you see the last statement, use of all the above elements will be based on the objective to be met. When should I use namak? When should I use pepper? When should I use oven? When should I use gas? It all depends on what you want to make. Everything is right. Okay, all these are elements. There's nothing good, bad, ugly about it. It's what you want to make out of it. What are the objectives of your communication? Do you want to trigger a logical response? Do you want to trigger an emotional response? Do you want to enthuse or motivate people? Do you want to kind of let people buy? Do you people to buy is bad English? Sorry. Do you want people to buy? Okay. Do you want to convey a spiritual teaching or principle? Is it a spiritual talk? Okay. If it's a spiritual talk, then the state of mind, the way you convey will be very different. Do you want to trigger deep reflection in people? Then the pause that you will take, the way you will structure your thoughts, you'll talk in terms of questions. You will not talk in terms of flow. You'll ask questions. You will wait. You will probe. The whole technique is different. Okay. Then do you want to just connect or socialize? If you're just talking with friends, 7, 8, and then you will talk in a different way. There you ask probing questions. Won't work. You'll say, "Pagal hai kya? What is he doing? We've come here to have fun," and so. People just forget this. They try to market one communication technique which they are good at as the best thing in the world. It's not like that. If you're in a board meeting, it will be different. If it's a technical presentation, it is different. You must master all the elements of communication, and you should use what is necessary. I am from a genre, from my heartfulness genre, where we have been trained speak from the heart. Touch the person's heart and talk to him, and kind of. Your talk should touch his heart. Great, you should do that. But what if I have to sell to him in about 15 minutes time? All this business of touching someone's heart is okay if it's a spiritual advice. If you want to leave an impact, lasting impression for him to savor later, that's great. That's fantastic advice. You should do it. Lekin mujhe usko 15 minutes mein maal bechna hai. Then I have to use, modern sales techniques. I have to use his in the head. I have to appeal to his logic, to his emotion, to his prefrontal cortex, to his limbic brain. I have to use, and I have to create a reaction in him. 15 minutes mein yes bole mujhe. As long as I know that I'm selling the right thing. As long as I know that I'm selling him the right thing, why would I not use that technique? Of course I will use it to close the sales early with him. As long as I believe that this product is useful for him, then I will do it. That time the communication technique is different. So this is it, guys, and we will keep building on more of these ideas on communication. So this is a preview of the free communication workshop that will come, that I had promised will be done in Heartful Learners Academy. We will do that. That communication thing will be something like this. This is a preview talk. I may even cut this portion out of this talk and put it there. It's come out quite well. and we will look at different elements, and we will see, once people have mastered, we will master these elements, we'll master, or at least some level of control you get on these elements. And then we will see in different contexts what you will do, how you will structure, how you will communicate. So that will be that workshop. And all of you, I hope you will attend. So great, time to wind up. Quick comments. If you like the content and communication, please press 3. I just want a quick feedback from all of you. Rishabh ji says brilliant. Thank you. Munira 3. Ajit, Lena ji 3. Okay. Wonderful. So all of you liked it. Great. So thank you so much. And so no questions on this, because I'm motivating all of you to join the interaction group. Those who are in the interaction group, please talk about this, say a few things, so that people are motivated to attend this more and more. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thank you so much.